I'm Shawna Lee. This is Infinity Readings, and this is going to be the reading for Aries for the spring Easter equinox season. So we'll get into the cards. They're split between the higher and the lower energies, meaning you on the 3D earth, and kind of an essence of what is from above. Okay, so we'll start with the grounded earth 3D cards for you, Aries. The first card that we get for you for the Easter season is... Sorry, my window's open. I love the fresh air. So, the first card we get for Aries is the Four of Wands. Yeah. This Four of Wands, again, I choose decks that don't have a lot of pictures that are very similar to the traditional tarot cards. I like pulling different energies from the visuals. And here is basically, I feel like the center of the card is the character. That's you, Aries. You're sitting in kind of a numb zone. You don't feel nothing. You don't, you're not expecting to feel. You're not anxious. You're not, you're just numb. Now, there's people around you working and doing things. So it gives me the sense that you're in a place where life is moving, in and around you, whether you're in your fire element or not. And I feel we are out of our element. I feel we're quite depleted of energy and whatnot. We just don't feel useful at this time. Now, that could be an internal thing, but we'll carry on here. There's a lot of energy here of the fire element, right? In the background, it's just everything's that fire energy. So it's like we can't even get into our own set. Like when you say, I want to get back to myself, I feel like the Aries is as far from themselves as they can be at this point. They just do not feel their vibrant, fiery self. Okay. Moving on to the next card here, Aries. What do we get on the 3D Earth? We have the King of Cups. So this is someone who is in the moment. They're looking after children, so caring energy. This may be someone around you, or it's interesting because we are not of this energy that I'm feeling through this card. You know how kids are youthful and joyful and happy and have a lot of energy to spare? I feel like we are in the opposite mode. We just don't have any energy. We don't have to spare. We're not excited about anything. We're just numb, that numbness. Now, this King of Cups is on the other end of that. Now, how's this relating in your life? I don't know. But there's a sense that this person is highly guided to bring out their caring energy, to be joyful in their surroundings, to take note of children, and to, this may be someone in your circles that is actually working with children, may literally be a teacher or someone who deals with a lot of children in that level. I feel like they're being energized by that, and somehow this has something to do with someone in our field. Okay, I don't feel this is our energy. I feel it's someone outside of us that is carrying an energy that we do not carry at this time. This is very different. Okay, so as we move to the future here, after the King of Pentacles, what do we get on the grounded earth? We get the Magician card. Okay. The Magician card, they have all the tools and they're ready to like cast a spell or whatever. I don't want to say that too harshly nowadays, but there's a sense here of being in charge and in control of what it is that where we want to go. The weird thing is I don't feel this past energy of the Aries is connecting with that energy of making things happen. No. They're going, there is a reason we feel the way that we do. Now, let's carry on to the next row. There's a great contrast here. They're showing me, and it may be a then and now kind of thing, or a past and a present, or a past and a future difference. Let's get into the next row. I feel like this is a little more complex than just to splatter out some kind of, yeah, it's deep. Results. Okay, they said results, but I don't know where that sits. Okay, Four of Wands. On top of that energy, again, a numbness. I feel like if we're of a fire element, that's completely lost on us right now. We can't even relate to who we truly are in our natural way. On top of that card, from the Curious Creatures, what do we get? The Three of Pentacles. That's about working with others to accomplish goals. And it's interesting because I get people in our universe fluttering around, but it's like those people are moving really slow and we're stopped. And it's almost like, I don't know, maybe our social circles, there's something here to be learned, because they're showing 3 people in that 4 of Pentacles and 3 cats in this 3 of Pentacles, right? They're going, this correlates. We worked with these people to get where we are. And where are we? Question mark is what they're saying. That's a question you need to ask yourself. All this work that we put in, where are we now? Okay, there's something to be said for that. Let's go forward. Okay, so on this King of Cups, again, a different energy field. Someone here working with children. Children are youthful and vibrant. This person is feeling the effects of that. In fact, they're helping these children gain confidence to be more vibrant, like teaching them. I literally get a teacher, like here it's like an art teacher or someone in a craft shop there is showing the way, right? Showing these children how to gain creativity in that kind of way, because the King of Cups can also carry a great creative side to them. So on top of that energy, what do we get? We get Judgment. This is, from above. Okay, here we go with that energy. I feel like what's happening here is we have now either we have a partner or someone beside us that is getting along well and joyful in their life. For whatever reason, we're not, but the sense they're giving me from above here is this is judgment upon the self. Aries may have tapped into some energies here where we worked for things to go exactly the way they're going now. Now, just bear with me. This really has the essence of karma. Yeah, like our karma bank was full and now we're paying things off and we may not truly understand that. That's what I'm getting here. And not only that, we may have been utilizing someone else's karma bank in order to get us along, and now we're paying for that as well. Keep that in mind. It's not going to be every Aries reading, right? So on top of that judgment, I feel like this person here may have actually isolated us. I feel like there's a King of Cups somewhere or a water element or someone caring, loving, who has created either a boundary with us and it's really numbed us. It's numbed our sphere, and not only that, it's coming in a way that is really profoundly hitting us, which is what it's meant to do, because we're meant to realize something here through this person. And I feel like this person is gaining their own joy in life because they're relieving themselves of your perspective. And I think what we did was we kind of either tried to trap that person or to deliberately make that person feel ill. And that is coming back upon us. Okay, just bear with me here. All I get is the disillusionment of the Aries. They really kind of don't understand, but it's because they don't believe what they did was wrong, but they did something wrong and they're getting payback for it, and this is it. And that other person understands that, but they don't, and they don't want to admit that. They don't want to admit the other person's right. Wow, this is could be a partnership in some kind of way. So the judgment is here, and judgment means that you will take upon yourself what you dish out. And there's a release of a King of Pentacles here, or a King of Cups here. Someone who's in caring form, they've been released from the Aries because the Aries is now dealing with karma having to do with this person. That's from above. That has nothing to do with that person, other than that was the object of your energy, bad energy. And now we're feeling that, and that other person is released in some kind of way. So, man, this could hit you in any kind of way. As we go into the Magician energy, and I did say spells and stuff. So this could be someone messing with energy in a bad way, like trying to deliberately harm another No, we can't do that. Like, I mean, you really have to be aware of your thought patterns. Not only thought patterns, but what you do actively to put another person down. Aries can really trample over that and not feel any pain while they're feeling. Well, they're not feeling. That's the thing. They're void. And the reasoning is because judgment has been called upon, and we need to sit and think about things to a higher degree. The Magician, what do we get there? Wow. The Empress. Give me a moment. That's the energy the universe wants you to be in. That's the energy we are furthest from at this point. Not that we can never get there. It's going to take some work because we have to change everything we've learned about victory and, at the expense of others, this kind of thing. We cannot trample over others and not expect a result from this, like a negative result. We can't do that. We can't trample over people and make them feel bad or, behind their back, whatever, in front of their face. You can't do that and then expect things to turn out well. They will not turn. And this is what's going on. The Aries is starting to feel the pressure from above here. And they may even be seeing people, how do you say? They're going to start to look at the world differently because the world is treating them differently. Because the frequencies have changed. It's no longer everybody siding with the bully. Now the bully's by himself and everybody's running to that person that they harmed. And the sense they're giving me is that Aries, you bullied someone here. You put them in a position they would not have naturally gone unless they were coerced by the Aries. And that is unforgivable here for whatever reason. If you are in this energy, you will know exactly where that sits. If you don't know, it ain't your reading, right? So the Empress, Judgment, that's heavy cards here. That means that universally you are being put in a box in order to figure your life out here. And there may even be separation factors having to do with people around you that are being removed from you in order for you to see clearly. And you may have ruined and burned bridges in this way and not realize this is what's going on. Now let's speak to the aliens, see what they have to say on the Three of Pentacles. I feel like we put a lot of work and effort in here, and I don't know if it's just our lack of depth, like being superficial, that we figure we can gossip and talk about people behind their back and it's not going to affect them in any way. It affects them, and it affects their circles, and it affects our friendship circles. And this is all the collapsing of the cards that is coming down for the Aries. It's kind of like the sense they're giving me, and it may even be deeper than this, but the sense they're giving me is like we are talking negatively about someone behind their back, and then suddenly word gets to that person, they confront you, and then we don't know what to do. Like, there's a lesson here. We tighten up our circle, meaning not tighten up our circle. Yeah, I said that wrong. We need to tighten up our morality, not our circle. Because that means keep people closer and don't tell whatever. No, we need to be more giving and caring on a better level and stop with the hatred. I'm getting this hatred. Wow. So smacking the fingers universally, judgment has come to sit, and we may have lost somebody in our sphere here in order for us to see that clearly. Heavy. Three of Pentacles, again, work and effort put into the wrong side of manifesting and all of that. Wrong side of the Magician. Okay. Three of Pentacles. What do we get from the aliens? The Sun card. Yeah, the sense they give me is we didn't see the harm in it. We actually got enjoyment from belittling others, that would be about the highest the ego could inflate itself before it destructs and has to come down to. And this would be that. It would be an ego death that is happening here, because everything that we pump things up to be is not what is in reality. And I feel like the Sun is our enjoyment of being in a negative, like the Aries. Yeah, that's the one that's got the tools to do that. They can do it and not feel anything. But the universe is not in favor of removing our heart and making fun of people and bullying and all of this stuff. Like I'm minimizing it to a low level. But it could actually be a lot heavier than even what I'm saying here in words. Okay? So there's something here that is going to be missing from our lives, and that is because the judgment has come back upon us. Energy that we have given out in a negative vein is starting to come back in the same format. And we do not like this energy, and we may be stunted by it. And as we move forward, we get the 20, again, the judgment from above. The horn has been sound that this energy will now reverse, and the people who were under the spell of the Aries, they are now being released from that and allowed to go free. The alien card on top of that is the Queen of Wands. Would you look at that? That's your energy. And interestingly enough, what they're showing me is that is being removed from the Aries and put into something else. Now, give me a moment here. Man, I don't even know if I believe in this, but I got to say it, and then I'll analyze it later. Basically, they're showing me the Queen of Wands. That's your element. That's your nature. That's who you were in regards to not feeling like you are now. Meaning, you're not feeling yourself. But in the past, this Queen of Wands energy, that would have been you in your forceful field. Now, what's happened here is somebody's into energy play. This is what I'm getting. Like you are into, and this is not just, saying prayers under the moonlight. This is not that. This is way beyond. This is witchcraft and hoodoo, voodoo. Yeah, heavy stuff. Okay, now that's off the docket. Because of this intention so strongly, and because of the actions so strongly that the Aries gave in to this way, the wrong side of things. Yeah, it's way heavier than I gave credit. Because of that, again, I don't know necessarily if I believe this or not, but I'm going to say it. The energy that we possessed in the way of bullying and and choices that we made in a negative nature, all of our strengths have been drained now to that person that we were trying to take from. They are now gaining strengths that we will be losing. This is what they're telling me. So if it was of your nature to be strong and forceful, and you go out, you get jobs, and you have no problem, and you're stealing energy psychically from someone deliberately in order for you to gain, that is now in role reversal. Okay? Because they're showing me that you might have had a period of time where you felt a little bit of a higher effect that is not natural. They allowed you to feel that to see if you would change your patterns. No pattern was changed. In fact, we increased the dosage here of going in and getting more. So that was a check mark. Yeah, these are on the wrong side. So karmically, that was locked in. This is interesting because I just had a lock-in episode from the Sag. So you might want to look at that as well. You may have Sag in your chart or dealing with a Sag or whatnot. But that hoodoo voodoo that you got into, that is now draining all that you have gained and will be working into the negative parameters of character and energy here to a degree that it could affect our health. Wow. Again, I don't even know if I believe in this, but this is what I'm getting and I have to spit it out. Sorry, my windows are open. So there she is in all her valor, but it is being siphoned. As it was siphoned, it will be reverted back plus. And the reason is, the plus is because of the intention and the maliciousness of intent. This is what they're saying. That gives you the plus. You know, you borrowed $10 and then you didn't pay me back. Now you got to pay interest. You got to pay $20 because you waited so long to pay me, this kind of thing. And not only that, you were trying to run away. No, you don't run away. This kind of stuff. Okay. Judgment from above. And again, they say clearly, us people on the earth, we're just mortals. We just don't see clearly. There's lots that can be hidden from us, but from above, they don't. They see everything. They know everything. They're there in your secret moments. They're there. Okay, so this is heavy. Someone doing hoodoo voodoo and paying the price. And again, in the past, no, it wasn't like this in the past. And you could have got away with this in the past, but the sense they're giving me is no. We just learned this loop as the energy was switching. Because this, everybody, evolving, this is just where we decided to go dark. And because of that timing, it is going to work out to our worst detriment. Wow, man, I'm not going to say nothing. I'm just leaving that there as we move in. These are the aliens talking, eh? The magician, again, a lot of energy was put in the wrong way. We learned, it could have been circumstance, whatever, but the sense was we have a lot of intent for harm, and that was malicious. Now, on top of the Empress, this is the energy they want you to transfer into. Not only will we not be allowed to do this because of the payback, essentially, that is coming, but in this lifetime will not be able to work it out. I don't know. It's like working out a math equation. Sometimes they got a algebra, and you got A plus B, in brackets, this plus this, and you got to work that out and show the work. And sometimes you get like a 5 minute to work out this thing, and you don't get it done in time. This is the sense they're giving me with your life. Even if we start from today, they go, even if we start from yesterday to work back that energy, we can't undo it in this lifetime, is the sense they're giving me. So that's heavy. That's heavy. That's working. My soul, my body, my mind is all on destruction of someone or something outside of me. And all of that maliciousness just can't be paid back. So on top of the Empress, the aliens have to say what? The Four of Wands. So the Four of Wands, it's interesting because usually there's a symbol of a home and security and stability. 4 posts of a table make it stable. Really, the sense I get here is a barrier. And it's interesting that wand is going right through his chest and the ball is sitting in. It's like he's locked in. And I get a sense of being locked in. I feel like we did something in our life here that was so bad that we locked our future out or in. Meaning we locked all the goodness out and we locked something in. And I feel like the in is this numbness. For some people, that will be ill health, where it won't allow them to continue forward in the same way. And for some, depending on that intent of destructive energy, and I mean the Aries, that's the destruction sign. Like they will do it the best they can. So they really did a doozy here, is the sense. No, because of that. And it's interesting because they have, in the future, it's kind of like all these contradictions. We have the Magician, which could be a great card if you're on the right side of things. But the energy I'm reading here, no, we were not on the right side. We're deliberately trying to take people down and stomp over them, either to gain what they have or to take them out completely so we can gain everything in a, gain everything that they have. Like I just get that dog eat dog kind of world thing. And the Empress is just not about that. She emanates, everything comes out of her. She doesn't steal and take and create chaos to get things. So that's the energy they want you to be in. And the stability here, I feel like we lock ourselves out of our own stability in the future by doing these dirty deeds. Okay, again, if you're an Aries and things are going pretty good and you're a positive person and you're not jealous of other people and trying to gain their influence, then this is not for you. But this one, oh yeah, they're not above lying, cheating, stealing to get what they want. And masculine or feminine. And unfortunately at this point, that universal switch karmically, some people's karma bank cannot handle this. Meaning, like I said, in this lifetime, you will not get to the surface of the water. You'll be scrambling. You cannot make up for it here. And the problem was that we had so much joy in others' depletion that was the real sin here, if we're talking about that kind of thing. So let's move on to the Metatron cards and see what happens here. The sun energy, again, that was the, we felt really good. So this was someone that just really was on the other side of the tracks. They felt good about putting people down under their boot heels, yes. And the harder you hit them, this is someone who's sadistic. I think they're emotionally sadistic, but sadistic nonetheless. They like to see people suffer, and they like to put people down, and it made them feel better. And that's just, that's warped. It's not the way it's supposed to roll. So on top of that sun card, again, the feeling of overcoming people, this was something this person really gained a lot from. On top of that, we get yellow joy, identity, ego. Interesting, that came out. And then there's brown here talking about home, humble, and comfort. Yeah, it was very comfortable for us to beat others down, to bully others, it was, we may have learned from a young age this to get along, but then when we didn't need it to get along, we utilized it anyway in a negative manner, and we found that we could gain things and overcome things and whatnot, and it trained us in the wrong way. And it just, like this would be someone without a conscience, or at least someone who really didn't care about others' feelings enough to worry about, like this would be the kid on the playground that if somebody's playing with a new toy, they'll go over, hit the person, kick them, and grab their toy and run away and enjoy the toy and not think twice about what that person's hurt or nothing. Like this is that kind of, spiritually, this is what's going on. I'm going to take that from them, and it's going to be mine, Meanwhile, the universe watching, people on the playground are watching, so that means people in your circles are seeing, because they're giving me the essence of feeling. That playground scenario, that's what they gave my third eye in order to express it in a way that I could communicate, right? To explain it to you in a simple manner. So you understand at some point here we did wrong, and now we have to pay for it. And we didn't think we did wrong, so we continued to do that wrong. And we never were corrected by those in our field. So therefore, right, it's going to be more of a shock. Because if somebody constantly goes around and they're kicking people and not getting reprimanded, there's no teacher on the playground telling them, no, don't do that. Johnny, don't do that. You're hurting the person. And not making them aware of that, then they escalate and they do more and more, and they create, and they get more and more rewards by their eyes, but that's not the way things roll. So we had a high ego, but I think it was beyond ego. I think we had a distortion here where we were dealing with something where we had no inner core of heart, is really what I feel. So anyway, I don't want to dip into that too much, but there's a long train of this for this person, and it's coming to an end here. Now, it's reversing, is what they said. Not an end, there's a reversal. And this is their start to understanding how others felt in their position. Okay. Now, on the Queen of Wands, Metatron, what does he have to say about that Queen? Star of David, glory, perseverance. Now, there's a sense here that our opponent, right, those that we were trying to hold down, they did persevere. And they will get the glory, because in the end, the karma and that energy will go back to its original place. Because if we were doing any kind of hoodoo voodoo, spiritual stealing of energy, again, we may have been shown that we could gain it, but it will swiftly be taken back and suctioned into that person's field where it was supposed to be. We may have got a hint that we were going to... because that's what they're showing me, is just a light feathering of this working, just to see if the Aries would continue forward. They did In fact, they escalated in energy. So it's kind of a tester to see, is the Aries good or bad? We're going to test it here. We're going to give them an opportunity, right? So they drank from that whole gallon bucket. They took the whole thing in. And then that's when judgment came from above, and that's enough. Not only, can a person be bringing that energy and saying, okay, I'm going to reverse that energy or stop it or block it or whatever, but the universe is now paying. We are going to balance this sucker out, and that person's going to pay. And not only that, they got to bring back that energy, and in the format they're in, they have nothing to gain. How you say? Man, I can't get my words. They don't have substance to come from. So therefore, it's like you implode on yourself. There's no substance left. It's like your house of cards. It's like, poof, they're all flat. That's what I get here. So all of that Queen of Wands energy is really going to be sucked back into those people. Now, it's not that negative energy. It's the potential. They have a different energy core to come from, and the energy given back to them will be transmuted and worked in their energy field. So in a way that they can make use of. And 10 to 1, if you come in the form of a cups here with creative energy, it's going to come in as explosion of creative energy that is above and beyond their natural ability to gain that for themselves. So that will come in that way. And anything that we may have had insight on or knowledge of gaining from them will be multiplied. It will, it's a compound fracture here that's just going to get worse for the Aries. For those that have been victim of the Aries energy, and I feel unknowingly so, a lot of them, they're really just going to gain momentum and fire horse energy going forward in that fire element. So they will be well in line with the flow of energy through this fire horse year. They will be fired up even more so than they would have been if the Aries would have left them alone and they didn't have to balance out karma. So hard to express, but this is, again, I'm not too sure how I feel about this, but I'm just transferring energy. I don't even know if I believe that, but this is what they're giving me, so I gotta relay it. So the Star of David, and that is the hope for the future, that things will get better. And for these people that were victims, yes, they will. Now this is Aries. I don't know, but in the news, there's a lot of headlines of people, paying prices. I hope this transfers on that level as well, nonetheless. Okay. Getting into the Four of Wands, again, is stability. I feel like a locking in more than anything through this card. I feel like we've locked in our energy field, and this is where we will sit. And how our field collapses is kind of up to our karmic path. Like whatever karma we put in, whatever effort we put in, and however devious we were, that's how we will gain the lockdown in our life in whatever way, right? So on top of that Four of Wands from the alien card, we got the Eye of Ra, shield from evil forces in the feminine. You may be a feminine looking at other feminines with evil eyes. You may be a masculine having to deal with the feminine Aries in an evil kind of eye kind of way. I feel like this card is bringing an undercurrent, like we're two-faced, like we're presenting ourselves as your best friend, but behind our back, very, very cutting, devious energy. And that's even worse than being rude up front. I'd rather you be rude up front than nice to my face and then a devil behind my back, that kind of thing. But that's the sense I get. I get it's covert. Like, we're not obvious about this, even though now that the energy shift, we may be seen for what we are or whatever. Again, not a lot can escape 2026 unscathed here, especially if you're on the dark side, trying to hide what you're doing or who you're against or whatnot. That's all going to be seen. Even when you don't want it to be seen, it will kind of be seen quicker, faster. But anyway, that's the sense I get, is this person really tried to hide, tried to be nice on the surface. And either that there's a particular person epitome in this, Knight of Cups. Is it Knight or King? Yeah, King of Cups. Or it's just people that you feel you can sucker in because they're naive or, in some kind of way, or emotionally caring and whatnot. It's like we kind of gravitate to those kind of people because we see them as weak because of the emotional heart and depth that they carry. But they didn't account for the wrath of, basically these people with high hearts, they are highly protected as well. And anyone who goes against them in a spiritual manner, they not only is the universe working towards that King of Cups to help them see their own worth in a proper manner, but they are above and beyond working to see anything working against. It's like you picked the wrong one to go against. But that was the lesson that needed to be learned, I guess, to get where we are today. So, heavy reading on the negative. Yeah, this is someone who's callous and destructive and likes to see people in pain and likes to take things from people. They feel that's victory in life. So, everything I'm not about. So, the astrological tarot help you figure things out. Water day. Look at this sucker, and I shuffle. The water day. I feel like this is an opposing energy, but nonetheless, this is something you need to hear. Key words: sensitivity, caring, peace-loving, harmonious, imaginative, creative talents. These are all things that this king carries. This is our enemy. Okay, so this is how I'm reading it. The water trickles down a gentle stream, making a harmonious sound and delighting all the senses. This is the energy of this card, and a person indicated by it. If it is a person, it is someone who is in touch with their feelings. They are wise, peace-loving, and in tune with others. They're showing me a scowl. Someone that is genuinely loving and caring. This person is going, ugh. Almost like, it's interesting because it's like they're giving me the energy, and that person's fake, when it's actually the Aries that's exactly doing that same thing. That they're accusing the King of Cups of being emotional and whatnot, like you're just faking it. When in reality, the Aries themselves are the ones who are being mean and trying to fake this. This is what they're showing me here. Wowzer. So a great deceiver. That's what I'm getting. They're wise, peace-loving, and in tune with others. Sensitive, sympathetic, and kind-hearted. You can rely on them to be a good listener and to give great advice. The water day may also indicate a highly imaginative woman with creative gifts and talents. This card can represent a mature woman in your life with the characteristics, or can refer to the qualities in your own character. I do not feel the Aries relates to this at all. I feel like they are opposing and they like to make fun of or berate those in this field, okay? So in terms of the situation, the card advises the querent to take a step back and perhaps even use a vacation to think on the matter instead of going for a quick decision. Now, I do feel the Aries is going to need a vacation from all that they've built in this area. They are going to need a break away, but not for the reasons to recharge. It's just to let this sink in on a level, because I think they thought everybody behind them was along with their bullying and their radical behavior was there cheering them on, when in actuality, I think that crowd was trying to stop them from doing it. And it's just now they're realizing that everybody behind them is not running with them, they're running after them. And that can be a huge thing if you're not in understanding of what's going on there. So wow, the water day just keeps popping up. It's the water element, it's the heart center that the universe wants you to align with if you're not on board. And the Aries, just this Aries anyway, not all Aries, man, but they're just not on with that. They just, they make fun of people that come from heart and people that cry and people that shed tears over, sentiment and whatnot. That's all stuff that's happening here. And it's heavy. And this is someone that's got to learn the right way. And there is something that happened here, and it may have to do with the King of Cups, that has reversed this energy that we've gotten away with so far. And now we're going to see the other side of things, how that King of Cups felt for so long. We're going to feel that and more. Why? Because the Aries can overlook a lot, and so the volume has to be cranked on this one in order for them to feel it in the same manner that someone with heart would feel it. Because I feel a sense that this person just does not care about others. They like to dominate, and that is, so it's a very destructive phase and area that they've learned, and they have to unlearn it. And the only way you can do that is to understand what you're doing. And this is the energy that's coming back to you, Aries. That is your Easter equinox reading. Take care out there. I don't think you're going to be having too much fun, but you may need a break from everything, and I would suggest that you take that. Take care, have fun, and be kind, and we will talk to you soon.